Now I'm going to continue the talk through, and I'm going to explain how to build a large storage room easy in the beginning. And since I chose a place that had much soil, I can make a storage room very easily in the beginning by building one right under here in the soil. And why do you want to build a large storage room in the soil? You want to build a large storage room in the soil because if you were to build one in the stone, the dwarves would have to move all the stones out of the way first. But if you have one in the soil, you don't need to move anything out of the way for them to start having to place the items there. And I want to build one reasonably quickly because all the items outside here are just sitting inside here, waiting to be stolen or whatnot. All the furniture that I'm going to make in a carpentry and all the stuff I'm going to build down here needs somewhere to be placed. And is there something else I need to do? No, I think it's alright, and I'll probably pause now and continue later when I build out the whole stuff, because we'll just be sitting here otherwise. Something else worth mentioning is that instead of having to keep telling the carpenter to build new barrels all the time, you can add the new task, and then when you mark the task up here, you can press R for repeat, and he will keep doing barrels until he runs out of material or whatever, something like that. When he has to sleep, or when he can't do them, that is, anymore at all. Let's see now. As you can see now, they are mining a lot faster now since they're getting some more skill. And I think I'll be back later when I dug out this. Something else worth mentioning, I think, is that you can, each time they will grow a new plant here in the farming plot, all the dwarves can go out and pick it. That's the original setting. However, as they pick the new plant here, they will get a few skill points in farming, and I only want the farmer to have high skill points, and to make only the dwarves pick up only the farmers pick up the growing plants here, I need to change one of the settings, one of the orders for dwarves. I don't think you can do that in Dwarf Therapist here. I think you have to go inside the game and do like this. You play O for orders. I don't see it here right now. There, orders. And then you press H to make only the farmers gather harvest. Right now it's all dwarfs harvest, but I want only farmers harvest. And then when I've done that, press escape to go back, and then resume. And if you started making loads of barrels and you have no place to place the barrels, and no one that carries them away, or no one that carries them away by a speed high enough to keep the workshops clean of the barrels, and you eventually get them filled with barrels, or and it works like this in all the workshops. If you make loads of items and there is enough of them left, the workshop will be cluttered, and you can see this if you press Q and get close to it, and you can see it here, CLT for clutter. Now in the beginning here I have enough barrels, and I don't really have any problem with this being cluttered. The only thing it will do is make the carpenter make barrels slower and slower and slower the more cluttered it is. This symbol here will change, I think, into red, and there will be like stuff right next to it showing that it's more cluttered. But right now it's not a problem, and since I'm working on this new area here where the stockpiles will be for all the stuff I'm making, I will soon have an area with the barrels. So I don't think there's a problem in having the barrels there right now at the moment. So I'll see you next clip. Not next clip. Another thing worth mentioning is that as you designate an area to be either cut down or dug out or something like that, they usually start in one of the corners. If it's cutting down trees, they usually start in the uppermost left corner and cut down trees. This means that if you were to choose this whole area to cut down trees here, he will go far away and start cutting trees over here instead of beginning with the closest here, which means in the beginning you probably want a small area to cut down trees with. And now, as you can see, the storage area here is open to be stored in, and I want to stockpile where they store just about everything made except food, and I'll show you what I want to store inside it. P for stockpile, and I want to start out with only furniture storage, but I'm going to change that one later. I'm going to show you how. Press once, and I can't make it bigger than this, but that's okay. This will be a very big one to start out with anyway. And to change the settings on this stockpile, I press Q, change settings, and I want it to be loads of more stuff to be stored on it. I don't want animals. This actually means only animals in cages, I think, and cages themselves. I don't want food. I don't want corpses stored there. I don't want refuse stored there. I don't want stone. If you were to press stone here, they will go and move all the stone up here. You can also change the story. If I were to enable this, you can go inside here and only make them store goods down there that's used, like ores and economic stones. But I don't want that right now. I only want them to store stuff that's made, ammo, and that's of course bolts, arrows and blow darts and stuff like that you shoot, coins, bars and blocks. These are bars of metals and blocks made of stone that you made yourself. Gems, this is if they have gone down inside the soil and cut out and mined out gems, they will move them up here. Also gems that have been cut, that is like the diamonds you see are not usually are cut, like the perfect angels, like emeralds. I want finished goods there. I want leather there. I want cloth there. I don't want wood. I want the wood to be in a separate area. I want weapons and traps, and I want armor. Now, as I unpause the game here, dwarves will start carrying all the stuff that's out here in the wagon that you started out with, and all the barrels they will start carrying down here. And you might wonder what this blue down arrow is on the dwarf. That means that he's thirsty. And I think the down gray arrow means that he's either tired or hungry, or that he's fallen down. And now I want to change some orders on the dwarves, but I think I'll do that in the next clip.